Hello to you brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my page. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down on the nitty-gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very, very important, but it's not important to liberals, libertarians, people believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like Yo Arse, people like DMT, people like weed and marijuana. 80% of them. Let's nail it down to that, okay? But of course, if you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast, especially put it down below. And of course, I'm your friendly individual Sexologist. Thank you very much for watching me. And of course, I hope my Mouthpiece Notch 4 doesn't get too many strikes, okay? But I don't really break their policy, but sometimes somebody may want to strike it, okay? I'll just make another or go on to some other site. That's not a problem, because all of the knowledge is right here. No kind of problems. I do this for a noble deed rather than for a destructive deed. And this is just stuff that's not non-liberal type of stuff. I do the research and I try to make sure I get my facts checked and shit like that. And I try to narrow it down. So let's get on with the subject now here. I'm going to talk about two subjects. Okay. Are there multiple sexes, okay, in the world? And we also going to talk about I kind of forgot, so I'll just basically come back to it later. I was watching another video about this guy, and he was born. He was a pedophile. Okay, hold on, let me try to think about what I wanted to say. And what happened is that so there was something mentally ill about him. Oh yeah, something about mentally ill people who are pedophiles. All right. So other than that, this whole entire genre, what I'm saying here, I'm gonna tell you the real reasons why. All right, why we have pedophiles in the world. And also, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say about the pedophile things. Okay, why is there more white pedophiles than black pedophiles? And there always will be more white pedophiles than black pedophiles. Okay, so we're going to talk about two topics. The first topic is that I was watching this video, and it was talking about multiple genders. Okay, and I say to people all of the time, there are more than just two sexes in the world. If you just do your research, you'll find out, scientifically, if you look at the body, how they're born, okay, the body, the physiologically, okay, physical of the body, is most likely going to be either a male or female. This is a very popular thing in society. But what I found out, listen carefully, I found out there was a gender out there which the girl transforms into a boy. Okay, so you could look this up yourself. I don't know what the term of it is called, but it's a very rare thing that happens over in Africa somewhere, where the guy is like a boy. No, it's a girl first, and then he turns into a male. Okay, he grows a penis. He had a vagina, and it grows into a penis. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read this on the internet. And also, you already know that there's hermaphrodites out there. So hermaphrodite is the third popular. That's the one I encountered in my real life. I seen a female. She looked beautiful, but she had no tits. And of course, she had a female vagina, a female labia, and and a male genitalia. Both of them. She had both of them overlapping. And I asked her, I said, is this genetics or is this surgery? She said, no, it's born. She was born like that. So there's another sex. There's also another sex, okay? A female with two vaginas. Go look it up. So they can't technically be a female anymore. Even though I have two vaginas, they have to be another type of species. Now, I know scientists will always say this is abnormalities, but you will never know if it's abnormality or not. You don't know that. But it's rare though, so it might just be labeled under abnormalities, okay? So I don't believe in two sexes anymore. I believe there are guys out there who has vaginas. I believe that there are certain species who have tails, okay, in the back of their bodies. So you have to use common sense if you did the research. If you don't know about something, you should just do the research and try to find out about it. Oddities. There's this one boy who had hair all over his face. But the boy then either had no sex. He didn't have a female labia or a male labia. That's impossible. Which I'm thinking about, this doesn't make any sense. All right. I saw a guy who was nothing. His whole body was full of hands, like one of the Krishna creatures over in the Far East. And I was like, no, that's not true either. He was walking. It was like some sort of abnormality. And I was like, is there other people like this? Probably so. So you got to be careful. There are multiple sexes in genders. I thought it was just only two. But through thorough research, you will find out there are people, not psychologically damaged, because every person that says they cross-gendered over into that sex, that could be a sign of mental illness. It's that simple. People want to identify as one of the hundreds of different gender sexes, but they really are not doing that. They're basically doing that to be identified so they feel comfortable in that position because of how they were raised. It's that simple. It's that simple. They just want to label themselves as a cat or a fucking a cyst, okay, some shit. It gets so confusing, but I do truly believe that there's more genders out there, because if they don't have a male penis genitalia, then they're more likely to have a female genitalia. But there's no other genitalia. Okay, so it really narrows down to either on the feminine side, in the middle, or on the male side. Okay, sometimes there's females out there with no titties, but they look like females down below. Isn't that some weird shit? Okay, but it does happen. So the next subject I want to talk about, also, I saw this video where this guy was a pedophile, and I always was wondering. I do have associates who are homosexuals, and they're highly intelligent. I believe that they're more intelligent than the regular heterosexuals. So you gotta be careful with that, because these motherfuckers are like really bright. Okay, and I see a pattern. Okay, I see a pattern of why homosexuals are a bit more brighter than heterosexuals in my life. Is because they were born that way. Like my friend, I told him, okay, why would you want to deal with a guy? Why would you want to get in the shitty ass? Because he's attracted to this shitty ass rather than a female. The female body is more beautiful rather than just a shitty ass. He's just attracted to the shitty ass. I believe it's more of a fetish or something, some psychosis that they have that choose the shitty ass over just reproduction. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't be no alphas. And I never call my boy an alpha. He looks at me. My boy Todd always tells me, hey, oh, I'm an alpha. I said, look, I'm bigger than you or some shit. I said, I told you before, I'm not no homo. I'm no homo. You definitely no alpha, okay? That's on the other end, okay? Okay, so you can go ahead and go fuck as many dudes as you want up the ass, and I won't think nothing different of you. Whatever you want to do, just don't tread on me. Don't tell me how I feel and what my perspective is, and you're okay. But, of course, that's really what I want to say. Oh, yeah, and also another thing, too. Whenever a pedophile is born, it's either they do know that they're a pedophile, or they don't know. Most of the time, it's mostly Milanos the crackers, okay? And I'm saying Milanos the crackers or white folks. And if I offend you, you have to get out of here. I already told you. You call me a nigger all you want. I don't give a fuck. This is name calling. I ain't hating or harassing. I'm a comedian. So, it's mostly them because there's always going to be more white folks than black folks in America. Okay, so the people got to get over that. Okay, if they're all 13% became pedophiles, there'll be more than 13% of Caucasians doing pedophilia. Okay, we already know this is a fucking fact, so we ain't got to worry about that. The reason why they're so much into pedophilia, they're little boys' booties and snatching up little girls and shit like that, because it was born like that. Something snapped inside their head, and sometimes they don't know any better. So you got to be careful. And I've seen How to Catch a Predator and shit, and most of those guys basically admitted their defeat because they admitted their guilt. They admitted their motherfucking guilt right on camera. They admitted their guilt. He asking them, he was like, hey, he's against the law, and they said, admit. Say, yeah. You travel for 2-3 hours for some used booty over some strange girl's house, okay? You don't even know who's in the house or whatever. That's them. That's how they become docile, kind of dim-witted, okay? Don't you think that you might be set up? I'll be too worried to be traveling over 2 fucking hours and somebody talking to me. I always ask a female how old she is, okay? But 9 times out of 10, sometimes those girls be lying sometimes. Depends on where you're at. Where are you at, okay? And I got in trouble one time, but I didn't serve no time. I did serve 15 days. But I got in trouble because I called the police on the girl who was underage, and that's all it took. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I called the police, then I should have been innocent. But I guess not. But that's why girls be disappearing and shit. So I don't think about calling the police no more. Okay, so now you guys don't call the police. If you got a girl near you, don't call the police. Get rid of that bitch as fast as you can, or make sure she's out of the house or whatever. Because I told the truth, and you see what happens to me. Okay, sometimes telling the truth is not a wise thing. Sometimes snitching is not a wise thing. You tell on somebody, it could be your ass, and you get caught up. That's why I tell people who have been raped or hurt, try to move away from the situation, get it from out of there. Because if that person finds out that you snitched on them, you're gonna have to show up for the court of law. You're gonna have to show up, okay? And then you can get in trouble. That person see your face. What are you gonna do, okay? But anyway, that's all I really wanted to say about that, okay? And please have an open mind, people, and use common sense. Try to use common sense and stay away from people as much as you can. You'll be the better off man. Peace.